Three, two, one. Let's go. Here we are, 411 Sports World Network. Check us out, 411 Sports World Network on YouTube. Check us out, 411 Sports World on Spotify. Check us out, Mr. 411 on Instagram and TikTok. In the house today, like the locker room episode, is none other than my great friend, Spivey. What's going on, Spivey? Can you hear me, Spivey? Oh, okay. We got technical difficulty here. We're gonna get Spivey back on. All right, just give me 2 seconds.
No problem.
All right, there we go. We got
Okay.
Spivey. All right, there he is. Spivey's in the house. What's going on, my man?
What's going on, Mr. Top?
All right, it's two Tyrones in the building today. But Mr. 411 and Spivey are in the house. Laker locker room. We're gonna chop it up about the Lakers. Talk about the playoff chances of the team, and just some pros and cons of what's going on with us right now.
Look forward to it. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. Got
Absolutely.
a lot to
Okay.
talk about. hmm
Well, look, man. Let's go ahead and get it in, man, because I know you have stuff to do too, and I appreciate you carving out some time. But
No,
here's the
I always,
studio. Make a lot.
I,
You
I
know what I
always got
mean?
time. I always got time to talk about one of our favorite subjects, which is the Los Angeles Lakers. I always got time for
All
that.
right. Well, you know what? Real quick, so it's been a minute. So tell the
hmm
people um, who you are and your Laker family.
Well, my name is Tyrone Spivey. I've been a Laker fan since 1980. I've seen 11 of the 17 championships. Of course, like most Laker fans, I started with the Showtime era for me. Just seeing Magic, Kareem, Jamal Wilkes, Shane Working, Norm Nixon, I was just captivated from day one. When I first saw the Lakers, I saw them defeat the Philadelphia 76ers. And at that time, the final was tape delayed. And just seeing a young man named Magic Johnson, he just blew me away. I never seen anything like him. And from that moment on, I've been a Laker fan going on actually this May will be 46 years, which is incredible. Because I was 10 years
Uh,
old when I first discovered the Lakers. That's amazing.
Bro, you've been a Laker fan, man, like a true fan, man. And
I have.
and I wanted you to lay that out there because Foreign Sports World loves to bring love to bring people on and bring them into the studio
hmm
that really are true sports fans and really know what's going on.
hmm
And so with that said, man, let's go ahead and talk about the current team, right? Led by Luka Dončić.
hmm
What do you think about the team this season? And then we'll get into the playoffs.
It's a good team, but it's a flawed team. Um, I love what we got, but of course, like any other team, we can always get better. But a lot of credit goes out to JJ Redick, his coaching staff, for putting this team together. Compared to the previous season that we've had, I felt like being disappointed due to personnel decisions. I'm really enjoying this team. They have heart. They're not the best defensive team, but they're a scrappy bunch. And again, that goes back to JJ Redick and also the team buying in to what he's coaching. So that goes a long way.
All right. Well, right now the Lakers are they right now in the top. Oh, they're on the
Oh,
top three. Okay.
no socks, Grandma. Socks. Socks.
Uh,
Socks. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
no, you good. You taking
Uh-huh.
care of grandma. That's important, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grandma's so important. And
Yeah.
man, look, Lakers, man, they so far so good this season as far as the record goes, as far as the standing goes. Now,
hmm
we can dive into what we like and think that the team could do a lot better with up to this point. But right now, just for the purpose of this episode, we're talking about the Lakers and their playoff chances. Right now, Lakers are 3 seed
hmm
in the West. So
Correct.
that's a good position. Now the standings are kind of tight, so it can shift at any moment if you lose a
R-
couple games in a row. And
Right.
am I right or wrong on that?
You're correct. You're absolutely correct.
Okay. So right now with the Lakers being at 3 seed, like how do you feel about that? And what are the chances you think the Lakers have to remain in that 3 seed?
They have to continue winning. They have to beat the team that they have to beat. They can't go out and afford to lose against lesser teams. I mean, they have to stay focused. And so it's very imperative on this final stretch of this NBA run that they win as many games as they can, especially home games, because I don't think it's that much separation between 3 and 6. So, and it's all about matchups, as you well know. So, we've proven that we can beat anybody except for OKC and San Antonio. But again, it goes back to matchups. But for me, uh, they're just gonna have to play consistent basketball and beat the teams that they need to beat. Because like you said, at any time, just like we won 9 straight, you can lose 4 out of 6 and you'll find yourself trying to find a play in position. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the Western Conference, man, and that's pretty much how it's been for a while. It's been tough in that West, and as you can see on the graphic right there, you mentioned two teams, OKC and the Spurs, and for me, that's the ultimate bugaboo for the team. Is how can the Lakers navigate around the Spurs defensively, and then the overall offense and defensive power of OKC and the youth. You know what I'm saying? Both of those teams have youth and a mix of experience. And that's the thing that I think with the Lakers may run into some issues because our three best scorers are probably our three worst defenders. And so it's like the gift and the curse. You have these guys that can put the ball in the hole, know what to do, but then on the other end, are they going to be able to? Are they going to be a liability when it comes down to the playoffs, where you have to like match up with a particular team for a series that they can game plan you that way? That's really my ultimate concern with the team right now. But overall, this team has outperformed what I thought they would do this season. And again, it's a tough Western Conference. Are there any teams in there that you're looking at in that bracket where like they can really get the Lakers problems outside of OKC and San Antonio, i.e., for example, the Nuggets? Do you think the Nuggets or a team with or even the Anthony Davis Timberwolves team? Do you think one of those teams will give us problems if we happen to meet them in the first round? All right, Spivey, we'll try it again. You there? All right, we got technical difficulties here with Spivey, but we will. I'll go ahead and answer my own question there, and
Oh,
then give
Tyrone,
Spivey a chance.
hold on.
Okay, I
Okay, I'm
couldn't
back.
hear you.
But no, what happened? My phone rung and it interrupted the service. That's what happened. I
Oh,
didn't
okay.
answer,
All right.
but my phone. I apologize to our guest.
Okay.
So
Were you able to hear my question, or do I need to just run it back to you real quick?
could you run it back to me right quick?
Yeah, I was saying outside of the Spurs and the Thunder, what other teams that are in the playoff competition in the West do you think the Lakers will have the most trouble with?
Um, Denver. Denver seemed to be our nemesis in the last couple of years. You can never count out Jokic. It could be a key factor. Um, he also could be Houston. Even though we beat Houston back to back, the playoffs are a different animal, as you well know. And to be honest with you, no team cannot can't be counted lightly because we're even though we're a good team, we're a flawed team. So that doesn't mean that we can't be beat. Just like we could beat anybody.
Yeah, yeah. For me, I think outside of the Spurs, outside of the Thunder, I would be more concerned with the Nuggets because that's a team that I believe if they didn't get hit with that stretch of injury with Jokic, and now they
Hmm.
always have some kind of deal with Murray. They always have to navigate around Murray throughout the season.
Right.
But when you take the attrition, like how they've lost some players here and there each
Hmm.
season, they're still solid, but they lost a lot of key role players over the years. But
That's right.
but that's why they can't afford to lose the Joker like they did for a stretch of time. I think that window kind of helped aid them. Well, it helped our team, but it kind of hurt their team, and they kind of
Right.
fell into that 4-5 slot. So I
Right.
think that's a dangerous team. So if the Lakers happen to be in a 4-5 matchup with the Nuggets, because of the size of the Joker, because of the size
Hmm.
of Aaron Gordon, you know what I mean, and with a healthy Jamal Murray, I think that would
Right.
be a tough type of matchup. You don't want to be in that slow paced type of game
It would be.
against them in the series. So yeah, that
It
would be
would
my
be.
biggest threat. Yeah,
And
outside of those two.
going back and to caveat on your point, um, the key for me, you may not believe is a DeAndre 8. If
Yeah,
he comes to play like he should, which he's capable of playing, if he could give us, and when I say 20 and 10, I'm not talking about layups and dunks. I'm talking about because he has a mid-range game. He can take you out. And if he plays to his capability, I think the Lakers can make some noise. For me, I keep telling people he's the key. People
I
don't
mean,
believe
it's
it,
a
but
good point.
he's the key. He's the key to the
Well,
whole thing to make us a substantial run this year.
well, let's think about it. I mean, let's look at it. Like you bring up Aiden, he was the number one pick in the draft.
Right. You got to remember now, we have the number 1 and 2 pick in the 2018 and 19 draft. Think about it. And people don't understand that. For a while
Yep.
there, we won the oldest team in the league. Look how miraculous we've got younger in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
the key to the Lakers, and I want to say this, and I'm not getting off this year, is the best thing that happened to the Lakers going forward is new ownership.
Yeah. Good
I
point.
tell because you got now that the team that own the Lakers own the Dodgers. So you saw the blueprint with the Dodgers, even though the salary cap situation is different, where in baseball there is no salary cap, but you got a owner who hires company people. So you're going to have a completely different structure going forward for the Lakers going in the future. It's the best, even though uh, for nostalgia, yeah, the Bucks family had it, but like everybody said, they ran that organization like a mom and pop. Now the Lakers are more dangerous than ever because their resources are unlimited.
Yes. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, man. And I think
Yeah,
we're heading in the right direction. You
I
see the
agree.
guy on the screen right here, LeBron James. What do you think LeBron's role should be? And what do you think should be once we get into the postseason as well?
He should be the Bob McAdoo of this squad. He's the Bob McAdoo of this squad. Former scoring champ. Not comparing Bob McAdoo to LeBron, but the role that he's playing. But LeBron at 41 is good as some 25 years old. So him being a third option, taking a back seat, it allows him to rest. He can distribute much more. Being a point forward, a point guard, him being a third option is the best thing that can ever happen. We don't have to rely on him. We have a killer now in Luka Dončić. We have a killer. And if you watch the games against Orlando and Detroit, and on this 9-game win streak, he's been absolutely devastating.
Yeah,
So
he's been on the tear.
again, we never had a shooter like this in Laker history. Even going with Jerry West, I've always said we've had a Michael Jordan and Kobe, and now we got a Larry Bird of like unprecedented. I never thought, and for us to experience this, it's amazing. It's amazing. And anytime you got Luka on the floor, you got and with Austin Reaves, as his game began to continue to maturate, we can make some noise. But for me, it's all about matchup because the playoffs are a different monster, as you well know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
If you're a Laker fan and you're out there, you gotta be rooting for the Lakers to hold on to the 3 seed,
Hmm.
and it looks like the Rockets will probably end up in that 6 slot. I think
Hmm.
Minnesota and Denver will outlast the Rockets. So if you want to look for an ideal scenario, you want to see that because the Lakers do have the number. They have the Rockets
Hmm.
number, and
And
I
we have
think
all.
the
Go ahead.
proof
I'm
is in the
sorry.
proof. The proof is in the pudding, right? I mean, he had the
Right.
matchups, and for some reason the Rockets can't figure us out. So that's what you want to have at least to get the playoffs started.
And we
Would you,
also
would
have
you,
the tie. And we also have the tiebreaker against Houston and Denver. So that's a big factor.
yeah, very good point there. Very good point. Yeah.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of things that's looking up for the Lakers right now. There's not so many games left in the regular season. About a month.
Right.
We're about half a month out, right?
You're
Before
right.
before the regular
You're
season
exactly right.
ends.
You're exactly right. And another key thing is health. We have to remain healthy. That's a key factor.
Hmm.
We've got to remain healthy. We can't sustain any kind of injury going forward. We got to remain healthy. But like I said, but this next month will determine everything. But I say this to that a lot of people that I'm disappointed in. What I'm disappointed in the Lakers is the development of Dr. Connect. I thought when we got Connect that he was gonna be our 3 and D guy. How he played at
Hmm.
Tennessee, and when he fell, imagine if he was to come alive. You got a 6'9" forward just like Luka can stretch the floor, and with his, with his basketball IQ. And to me, if he could come along and develop, that's another a weapon in the arsenal. And I'm hoping some kind of way that, and it's wishful thinking that he can be inserted, but he don't even get in the playing time. And I'm disappointed in it.
I think where you're going to see that, Spivey, is when LeBron James is no longer here.
I
I
got you.
think when he moves on, because you can tell me what you think of what you've been hearing out there, but let's say it's likely that he's not back next season. That's when I think you're going to see Dalton Connect. I'm not Connect starts to develop and become some sort, at least a good rotational player, and then maybe something else down the line. But I
I
think
think he,
I think that's where his window's at. That I think it's in that position.
I think he has superstar potential. He's lost his
Hmm.
confidence. Again, with LeBron being on the team, you've always said this. I disagree with you, but you I'm gonna like Jock Ewing. I'm gonna give the devil his due. LeBron sometimes doesn't make all his teammates better. I fought against that, but I agree with you on this point because once LeBron leaves, it opens up a whole other world, whole other scenario for Dr. Connect. Because Dr. Connect has a world of talent. He is not a
Yeah,
G League player. He was selected in the first round for a reason. And I think what happened when they were considering when they actually traded him to Charlotte, it did something to his confidence.
yeah, that Mike Williams trade, right? Well, that
Yeah,
fell through. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
right,
Okay, so yeah, that happened. He's got to bounce back from it. You know what I'm saying?
right,
He's
right,
got to show us something all season. May need to play some
right,
summer league. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Do play
right.
the role of the lead player. During
And he
summer.
has and he has been playing some. He played some of these last two seasons, but I just think a young man. He's only with 25. With his basketball acumen, the way he can stretch the floor, man, it's another weapon for Luka. Because one thing about Luka, we all know he loves to throw the alley-oop. He loves addition. He loves to pass. And you're going to get and when you're playing with a Luka Dončić, one thing about you're going to get wide open shots.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean he's done that. We seen the proofs in the pudding with Luca. He actually went to a finals right before
Right,
coming to the Lakers, so he was
right.
able to carry his team to a final, lead his team to a final.
Huh?
We have the
Hold
star
on,
player
Tyler.
that we
Hold
need.
on, Tyler.
Yeah,
Hold on. Where you put my peers at? What you picked up in the dress? Say what, Grandma? What? Say what now? Oh, hell, you real sometimes ain't that you crazy. You know what I'm talking about. My damn pill, what I told you to pick up for me. Been telling you that for over a week now. And you ain't got them yet. I get them, Grandma. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
all right,
ahead,
you back?
Tom. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, you back? Okay,
Yeah, I'm
hey,
back.
it's grandma. We gotta take it in,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Grandparents are important, man. Take care of,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and I hope grandma's a Laker fan.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
well, yeah, I wish you was.
All
Yeah.
right, but what we're talking about was just like Don Connect his development in the future. Um, maybe he could be a wild card in a couple games here and there. Don't know, but what we do have with the rotation that is looking like now, this team can put up points. The Lakers gonna put points on the board. The question
Right.
is, can they stop someone? Can they
And that's the
stop
key.
an elite team? How do you feel about that against a Wimbyana, against a OKC team that's already proven they're champions? So they're already proven they can make it all the way. So what do you think
I,
about Lakers defensively?
being a true Laker fan and being a person who doesn't think with his heart but with his mind, it's going to be a hard matchup because you got Chet Holmgren and the other cast of characters. They can shoot threes and take you down low, and that's what I told somebody the other day. We need another big man. I don't. Right now, we're flawed against San Antonio and OKC. We may put up a good fight, but I don't think it depends on how the draw goes. We may make it to the second round, but I'm just being honest. Unless you got a monumental effort, I don't see us beating those teams in a 7-game series. I just don't.
It will be a tall task. I do
Yeah,
think in the NBA altogether, I think if you want to kind of layer some favorites, including the East, I would say you have like an OKC up there. I would put Boston/Detroit, then looking at San Antonio, and
hmm
then after that, now we can start looking at the Denvers and Lakers and giving them a chance after that. So it's going to be a tall task to get all the way, which is the
it is.
ultimate goal of the Lakers. For the Lakers, it's all about ultimate goal is to win it all. So
That's it.
if you want to be a Laker great, you got to win it all multiple times, and so that's what we're looking to see what this team can get to. And I think they can build it to a point to the Lakers can get a run in,
I agree.
even if it's
I
not
agree.
this season.
Right,
Yep.
and that's what you got, and that's what you got to look at because I'm quite sure LeBron's not going to come back. And even though I've enjoyed him being a Laker, he's going to halt progress if he's. And I'm think he's. And I'm think he's going to take a pay cut once his salary comes off the books. And with Frazier and Lumen, the sky's the limit. Again, it goes back to the new ownership. And if they do anything like they do with the Dodgers, all I got to say is look out NBA because we're on our way.
Yep.
We have a great foundation now, and and let's not leave out Marcus Smart. He has been a wonderful addition to the Lakers with his timely threes and his defensive prowess. He's been a great addition to the Lakers this year.
Yeah, he's actually played a great role for the team, man.
He really
And he
has.
has some grit. He has some grit, and that's what you need in
Mhm.
the postseason. You need some guys that
Right,
got a little edge to them, and we need somebody that's going to kind of, when you have to run up against a Jamal Murray or a Shea, you know what I'm
right,
saying,
right,
what's some of the guys on the Spurs, you know what I'm saying, some of those guards over there like a Fox and things like that. You're going to need some
right,
scrappy guys that don't mind laying the wood at people from time to time and
right,
make them
right,
earn
right.
buckets. Yeah.
And let's not forget about the mid-season acquisition of Luka Dončić. Having another three-point shooter, and not only can he shoot threes, he can also drive and dish, as you see. So we're building, and that's something that we were lacking a couple of years ago with three-point shooters.
Yeah, Lakers are putting some pieces together here.
Yeah,
I would love to see what we get in the draft and also continue to add some good defensive help too for the
right,
long term. Because
right.
I think the way I'm looking at this, I think what the Lakers are going to do, as you said, with the new ownership, they're going to build this team around Luka,
Oh yeah,
and they're gonna bring the type of players that like kind of like how Dallas had it. Dallas
right.
pretty much had it right there on the cusp to start making a
hmm
run
hmm
before they traded him away. They brought in enough, they drafted enough long defensive guys. They had a Kyrie Irving when healthy that could be a number two to him, another scorer.
hmm
They just about had the team built the way that it can fit around Luka, and I think that's what the Lakers are going to do. You got
Yeah,
Dalton. I mean, not Dalton. You have um
Aiden.
Austin Reaves. You have
Right.
Austin Reaves could be that other scorer that can be explosive. So that everything don't fall on Luka offensively. You have Aiton, as you just mentioned, an athletic big that can run the floor.
hmm
I think he's going to explode over time.
I
So
think he will.
those are the type of players that I think you're going to see more of on this roster. So
Right.
we got something to look forward to, man.
And so I'm looking forward to that. And so like I said, barring injury, anything catastrophic, I think the Lakers' bright future is bright. I don't know what, and we got a lot of key decisions. I don't know about Vanderbilt. You got people like Vanderbilt. You got key pieces. Vanderbilt problem he doesn't stay healthy enough. But again, I like where we're headed, and we can't expect like you just said earlier. Patience is the key. Patience. If you're a
Hmm.
Laker fan, patience because the team is not fully constructed like it's going to be constructed. So just trust in ownership and let them do their job. Because one thing about leaving LeBron, one thing about this new ownership, LeBron power for us, what he wants and what he says is greatly diminished. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely, it is.
And
It's a great thing.
yeah. hmm
It's a great thing, and that's where you're going to see the turn for the better and for the long
Right.
term. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what we're
Right.
looking for. We landed Luca, man. Like who would have thought a player of that
Oh
stature?
man.
Like a
Oh,
A All
that was
NBA first team talent, All NBA first team talent, a generational
uh
talent
that's
player
it.
lands
They can
on the Lakers like that.
they can set you up for another 2-year run. But the thing about this run versus LeBron run, the team will be better constructed versus what LeBron with his 8 years in LA. Because I think
Yeah.
LeBron 8 years in LA, the ownership did him a disservice. Of course, the thing that set us back was not getting DeMar DeRozan, and they chose Russell Westbrook. That was the beginning of the downfall for me. And even though
Well,
we go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Finish your thought.
And even though we made it to the Western Conference Final 2 years, 3 years ago, we didn't build on that, and we had contract that was in the way. So I think that Russell Westbrook trade really set us back because DeMar DeRozan wanted to come to LA, and unfortunately, they wouldn't give him another year. But that being said, that's over and done with. I hate to see Anthony Davis go, but to get a generation talent like Luka, oh yeah, it was well worth it.
It worked out. Yeah, it worked out
Yeah,
for the better.
yeah.
But I was just going to dive into what you were saying there about that DeRozan move. Like those type of moves, right? That's where ownership, the difference in ownership. Like I
Hmm.
think the team listened too much to LeBron. They try to do the blueprint that LeBron typically likes, which is get me this guy now,
Right,
this star
right,
player now, this
right.
player off this team now, versus like get me instead versus building players around that's going to work
Hmm.
and you have a total cohesive
Right.
unit. You know what I mean? Versus just
You're
kind of
right.
grab players and build and throwing stuff together quick that works for now. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So those days are behind us. I think we're going to build for the long term. Lakers are going to make a run down the line.
I agree. Starting next year, we're gonna make a run down the line. Like I said, this team, if we can get to the Western Conference Final, that would be a major plus. That would be a major plus for us, and that'll set us in a path, I think, in the right direction. But if we make it to the semifinals, um, that still would be a plus. Um,
Mhm.
I felt like, I was listening to Kendrick Perkins and Charles Barkley, who's I don't know, for somebody who never won a championship, he has a lot of, he has a lot to say. Um, but I felt like this team was better than what their record. Because you remember they got off to a great start without LeBron, and that told me
Mhm.
right then what this team was capable of doing. And so,
Yeah.
you know, and so to me, that set everything in motion. And what you're seeing now, they finally got Luka, Austin Reaves, and LeBron on the same page. And you see what it, because like you said, offensive wise, they can score with anybody.
Yeah. Anybody in the league? Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
And
there's
so,
no doubt about that.
right. And so for me, again, I'm being realistic. I'm not one of those fans that, oh yeah, the Lakers. I've never been like that. I know when the team is ready, I know when they're not ready. But you have to be optimistic and you have to be a realist when it comes to your teams. Um, but if it was, this is not the NCAA championship where it's one and done.
Right.
You playing 4 out of 7, where teams have a chance to make adjustments, as you well know, in these playoff series. So uh, for me, it's not about this year; it's about going forward. But I would hope personally, if I could, if I could stretch it and being hopeful, I would love to make a Western Conference final. Because, like you said, the goal for every Laker team is win the championship. That's what we're all about. But being a realistic, being realistic for this year, um,
Hmm.
Western Conference semis are at the most Western Conference final. You never know. But once the playoffs start, you never know what can happen.
And that's the key, right there, Spivey. I'm
Hmm.
with you. I believe the Lakers, based on what I've seen from Houston this
Hmm.
season, they don't
Right.
have Van Vliet this year. I think that really did them a disservice, the injury to Van Vliet, because I think he would
Hmm.
have been the engine for the Rockets. That Rockets would have been sitting up there in the two slot, I think,
I
with
agree.
Van Vliet this year.
I agree.
But without him, you can see that Kevin Durant, he's a wonderful player. He's a great player. He'll go down. He'll go to the Hall of Fame right away. But he just don't have that extra gear that is needed. He has to have somebody that's driving the car. You know what I'm saying, like the engine. And I think that's where Van Vliet would have played that role for them, and that he could
And
have just
he
been the straight scorer. You get what I'm saying?
and he's the
At
perfect
this
fit for
moment,
Houston. Right. He's the
yeah,
perfect fit for Houston in this part of his career.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's a guy that has the experience and can put the ball in the hole when they need it. You know,
Hmm.
down the stretch of games and things like that. but that ball handling from Van Vliet, that clutch kind of shooting from Van
Mm-hmm.
Vliet, like I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what they're missing, and that opens the door for the Lakers to take them out in the first round. Now
I agree.
in the second round, you'll be facing the Spurs. They don't have experience like championship experience right across the board, but they do have youth. They do have athleticism. They do have the eraser there with Wembanyama. That
Mm-hmm.
would be a matchup nightmare.
I
And they
agree.
are well coached. And they are well
Yeah,
coached. So you have to
they are.
beat them. They're not going to just beat themselves. So that second round is going to be an interesting matchup. But they need to stay on this side because that
And
one you stay with from the jump.
and you have to remember too, like somebody said, one when
Yeah,
you I heard a broadcast team the other night. When you play against
yeah,
the Lakers, team go for extra gear.
yeah.
That's another thing. When you wear that Laker uniform across your chest, and especially when you're having a season that you're having, everybody wants to be the familiar chant from Philadelphia and Boston is beat LA. And all of a sudden, when the Lakers come to town, everybody plays a little extra hard. So that means you're gonna have to play extra hard.
That's right. And that's how I go. And
Yeah,
and and that's
being,
mhm.
being a Laker, being a Laker is not a rite of passage, it's an honor. And it's a privilege. And you have to earn that. And I've seen a lot of playoff games in my day. I go back to '94 with Seattle, one of the most talented teams I ever seen in the regular season,
Yeah.
for the Seattle SuperSonics. And an
Mm-hmm.
AC Denver Nuggets upset them, which to me,
Right.
and that's over 40 years, 30 years, which I still can't believe. Because the team they had assembled for that '93, '94 season and the games they won, there's nowhere in the world that Denver Nuggets team should have beat them. But they did. So again, anything can happen in the playoffs.
Yeah, anything can happen. And a key, maybe a injury here, or injury
Right,
there. That
right,
that changes it too. So you have to
right.
have that factor too. Where a lot of people say, you have to have talent, and you got to have a little luck. And when I say luck, I'm referring to avoiding that injury bug. You know what I'm saying? Because that's
And the
where,
ball and the ball has to bounce the right way. You don't know who can be that player that can step up and all of a sudden become that playoff superstar. You never know.
right,
So again, when the playoff starts, um, you have many X factors that can go into a series. So again, the West is a very difficult conference. As you know, the West is stacked, and so it's going to be a battle every night. So even though LA is off to a good start on the win streak, they still have a long way to go, and they have
man.
their work cut out for them because they haven't won anything yet. And
Yeah,
so my thing about it, um, we just have to wait and see. But for me, the ceiling would be Western Conference semis and hopefully Western Conference. Yeah, of course. Would I want to be the final? Oh, of course. I would love
yeah,
for them to be in the final. That's what I want. But realistically, um, um, I'm looking at semifinals.
yeah. I want a good showing against the Rockets in the first round, and
Right.
then get out that first round and just have a good showing against San Antonio, and that'll
And
be enough for me.
and just because you beat a team like they beat the Rockets back to back doesn't guarantee them they'll win the series against Houston.
Correct.
Because all
And they
about
still have
adjustments.
they still have Houston still has Sengun, right?
Right.
He's been in and
Right.
out with a lot of injuries, so he's a tough
Right.
big man to deal with. They have
Right.
Thompson, a
Right.
big guard that's playing point now, and of course Kevin Durant. And so with
Right.
Udoka, with his defensive coaching ability,
Right.
they won't be a push off by no means.
No,
You know what
no,
I'm saying?
no, by no means whatsoever.
Yeah, you might be looking at a 7 game series.
Right. So again, as I've gotten older, I see things different than I was 15 because I'm looking at my Lakers with my heart. I
Yeah,
always tell people, yeah, I hate Boston with Larry Bird, but I realized they was a great team. I didn't want to admit it back then. I knew they were good, but I couldn't understand. But hey, as you get older, you think more with your mind than with your heart.
yeah, yeah. But that's fandom, man. That's part of being a fan. So there's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. And
I mean,
but yeah, man,
and, and
go
so
ahead.
again, you like me, me and you are one of the biggest Laker fans out there in the world. But I enjoy talking with you because you are a Laker fan.
Oh, okay, Spivey, you still there? All right, I think we had another. Okay, technical difficulty there, real quick. Go give him a chance to get on. I'll give my final thoughts, and then if he comes back, he'll give his final thoughts, and we'll be out of here. So yeah, I think Lakers defensively is going to be the key. How is this team going to look defensively when the postseason comes around? Well, the media has always been hard on Luka about not getting back on defense and complaining and things like that. But the media need to be just as critical with LeBron James because he does the same thing. So with Luka and LeBron stepping up on the defensive end, if they can somehow do that, now we look at a whole different team. So that's going to be the ultimate key for me on that end of it. But Lakers first round, I think that is the ceiling. Uh, you know, get past Houston in 7, and then give the Spurs a battle, and then we can move towards the future. All right, Spivey, we'll let him give his comments. We'll have him post some comments out there um, when he able to get back on. If he's not able to get back on, we'll get some comments posted out there.
Okay.
But for now, there he is, Spivey. You can give your shout out, man, for the end. You will close us out with your final thoughts, and then we'll roll out of here.
Um, I just like to say thank you for having me on tonight's broadcast. I hope to do it again, but um, I just think the Lakers are heading in the right direction. Um, I love where we're trending. I love where we're going. But for me, it's not about this year. It's about the future. And for me, the future looks bright. I have to be realistic. Yeah, like I said earlier, would I would love to have a finals appearance? I would, but for me, I don't think that's possible. But what I do think is possible is at least a Western Conference semifinals and a possibility of a Western Conference final playoff spot. But like I said, but so far it's been a very, very great season so far, and I'm enjoying it. But again, it's not about now; it's about the future.
All right. Well, there it is. The future's looking bright. And look, I will see you in the future on
Yeah.
future episodes of Laker Locker Room.
What I look forward to. It's been a while. Um, it's been a while since I've been here, but again, I look forward to being a guest on your show in the near future. And thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. And I want to give a big shout out to Rod Wolford. I know he's watching from above, man. He's a huge Laker guy. He was on the original broadcast episodes of Laker Locker Room, and he's a diehard Laker. And we're gonna keep this rolling. So big shout out to Rod Wolford, and I know he's watching. He's anticipating these playoffs from above, man.
Oh man, well I didn't get a chance to meet him, but again I echo those comments on what you just said about.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, he's Spivey. I'm his 411. We out of here.
Yeah, yes sir.